for tuning in. The Barbershop Sports Talk.
Oh, we're back with Barbershop Sports Talk. We love Kenny Sim with the scouting expert for 247 Sports as we are diving into the 2021 NFL Draft. The offensive players just got done talking about quarterbacks, running backs, and now it's time to talk about the wide receivers. Kenny, who do you have?
Yeah, this is a really good wide receiver class. I got 12 guys with a round 1 or round 2 grade. That's comparable to last year. And I got 18 guys with a round 1, 2, or 3 grade. So it's a deep class, and I wonder if one of the top 3 slide a little bit more on draft day because teams think they could get a better value in round 2 and round 3. But my number 1 is said that last week to you, is Jalen Waddle out of Alabama. Averaged almost 19 yards a catch, most yards after the catch, most yak in this class, yards per route run, really efficient player. That means you're really, if you're in that class, that means for every route you run, you add up all the yards too. So not only you're running a lot of routes, but you're being productive and getting the ball thrown your way. Jalen Waddle to line up at XZ in the backfield as a slot. Kind of reminds me a little bit, 5'10", 180. Kind of reminds me a little bit like a Torrey Holt type of player. And then after that, I'm going to go number 2, Devonta Smith. I'm going to go with his Alabama counterpart. I like the player a lot. Really uncoverable at Alabama. He's crafty. He comes in as a 10-year veteran, it seems like, running routes, elite ball skills, despite kind of a smaller frame. He'll go up and stab the football and make a play on those 50-50 balls. I think the one thing that would shy you away from him is there's never really been a guy at under 170 pounds to be able to really succeed in the NFL like a Devonta Smith if you were to take him in the top 10. But he's a playmaker. Caught the game-winning touchdown in the national title game against Georgia. Overall, with him, I think he's still a guy like a Waddle who's like a Z receiver. Doesn't have that elite size, speed profile, but explosive with the football in his hands. Instinctive route running. I think you could create separation with his route running to always be open. Third is Jamar Chase. I like Jamar Chase a lot. Really athletic. Came in, ran a 4.3 4.40, 41-inch vertical jump. Not a big receiver, just over 6 feet tall and 201 pounds. Opted out, I don't know how that's going to affect him with a really good season of the Alabama receivers, but he's a guy that he's ideally placed as the X receiver. He can make those plays in those 3-by-1 sets. He can win one-on-one when he's the lone receiver on one side of the field. He really won a lot in the SEC, made a lot of plays over A.J. Terrell in the national title game. Just creates separation. He's the most athletic, I think, of those 3. Highly productive, too, through his 2 years at LSU. I think he's going to be, it depends on the flavor you want of these 3 guys. I think all 3 of these guys are probably top 10 players in the draft class. So I have him. And then 4th is Rashard Bateman. Rashard Bateman, big receiver out of Minnesota. I don't think you take a look at last year in a really remedial passing offense in Minnesota. You got to take a look at him 2 years ago when he had a better quarterback, a better receiver opposite of him. Made a lot of plays against Minnesota. He had 60 catches last year, only played 5 games this year with the Big Ten. Him, and then coming in and those are the 4 I got ones on. These next guys are a little bit that low round 1, more along the lines of a round 2 receiver. Remember, you get a lot of good guys in the round 2, and there's a lot of guys I like here. Elijah Moore, Terence Marshall, Cadarius Tony. Those 3 guys. Elijah Moore is a guy that got a lot of volume, but he turned it into production at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. Lacks a little bit of the height and length, but he was really good in short areas, 4.35 40. He's a guy that can play the slot and really cause a lot of problems for a team, be a high-volume receiver. You picture him as a slot with Tampa, that'd be really good. Terence Marshall, the counterpart of Jamar Chase. Terence Marshall, I think he's got a lot of boom or bust. We got to see how his foot plays out because he had a little bit of a foot injury, which is a little bit of a concern. But he's the big receiver. If you like that big receiver, you're building a basketball team. He's that power forward, win above the rim, get those rebounds, 6'2", 205, 13 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns the last 2 years. You take a look at him, lacks the short area burst, wins a lot in the one-on-one. He's surprised with a 4.4 42. And then Cadarius Tony, I got Cadarius Tony 7th. He's a guy I can see going the low in round 1, high round 2. That's where I have him slotted too. Really explosive. They line them up in the slot, line them up in the backfield. Thing with them, you saw on the Senior Bowl tape. You take a look at that one clip in the Senior Bowl. He really broke the ankles of a DB. But you got to watch that play unfold after that. He actually dropped that wide open pass from the quarterback in the 7-on-7. He's got iffy hands, which is a concern for a wide receiver. So I got him 7th, and those are my top 7. And then after you give yours, there's a couple of guys after that I'm going to touch upon that I like too in a very deep receiver class.